Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls, coming to you from the West Coast. Part of my AECP, my Altenew instructor or education certification program challenge was to create a boxed set of mail cards with a nice little presentation. And so I created my cards and I used the curtain leaves cover die to decorate the front of this, and it's a little like a booklet style. It's got a little pouch on the bottom and a hook and loop closure or Velcro closure. You open that up and your cards slide right out, and these are 5x7. Well, the cards are 5x6.5, but the envelopes are 5x7. So there's my 3 cards. And they slide right into there with the envelopes. But you could use this cover for anything. I mean, you could use, not just for cards. You could put a little, if you had a little notebook or something that you could slide in there. But really fun. So let me show you how it's made. So I want to make a cover or a little box, a gift box or something for my mail cards and envelopes. And my envelopes are 5x7. So I need a box so I need a box big enough to hold that 5x7 completely within it. So what I've got is this piece of card is 6x7.5. It's just a sheet of craft card. And then I drew a line, I just drew a pencil line kind of right in the middle at the 4-inch mark. And you'll see why in a minute. So that's the back piece. Then the cover is going to come over. And this piece is 7 5/8 by 7.5. And along the 7 5/8 side, I scored at 6 and at 6 5/8. Okay. And that's going to create my wraparound cover. So this is going to be the back piece. And then this is going to glue on like that and wrap around and create sort of like a booklet type feature. Okay. Then I need something to hold it shut. So I've got a piece of card that this is 1 inch by 7.5. And I scored at 6 and 6 5/8. Okay. And then I just rounded those corners. And this is going to go onto my back piece. And I drew that 4-inch line because that's where I'm going to glue this on. And it's the full width, so it'll go on there. And then that fold is going to be right there. So then when I put my cover on, like that, this is going to wrap around, and I'm going to put a little, like a Velcro dot to hold it shut. Okay, so that's my clasp. Then I can't just stick my cards in there because they're going to fall out. So I need like a little pocket or something. So I've got this piece of card, which is 7.5 by 4. And then along the 7.5 side, I scored at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Turn it over so you can see a little bit better. So I scored at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch, and then at 6.5 and 7. And that's going to create a little 1/2 inch deep pocket that I can put my cards in. But then to create the bottom, I flipped it on the short side and scored again at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Okay, so I've got all of those. Great. Now let me get my scoreboard out of here and we'll build our card base. It's not a card base. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on to the back. Okay. And you can use tape, you can use wet glue, whatever you want to use. I'm going to use some tacky glue because that'll give me a few seconds to wiggle it around and get it in the perfect spot. And it'll be nice and strong when it dries. Now you can put it on the inside like this, or on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the back, and then it is going to show on the back like that. if you don't like that, just put another piece of card over the top. I don't mind that because it's on the back, and I don't care. I don't think it's gonna, and it's craft card to craft card, so it's not like it's a different color. If it were a different color, I would probably not like it. I would probably cover it up, but since it's the same color, and since this is scored, you can just push it right into that score line and close it up. Get blue. Okay. So there's the base of my wrap. I'm going to go ahead and glue my closing strap in. Before I forget about it. I'm just going to put it right at that 4-inch mark. And even with that edge. Okay. Now you don't have to cover this up because honestly your cards are going to sit in there, but I don't love that. So I just got a piece of green card that I'm going to actually glue kind of over the top of this, just to kind of smooth out that back. I mean, it'll still show on the sides, and I guess I could cut a larger piece. In fact, I might, because this part's going to be hidden anyway, so I don't care. So yeah, I think I will. And I'm just using a scrap, which is why I don't want to cut into, this is a 12 by 12 sheet, and I don't want to cut into another one. So I'm just going to use a scrap. And it's honestly not going to show because this pocket's going to be down here. So this part is going to be hidden anyway. So this will cover that entire back section. Like that. And then you won't see this strip. And again, if you wanted to put it on the back and then put another piece, over the whole back, you could do that. And then you wouldn't have to do this. And that would cover it up too. Just depends on how much you want to cover. But I like the idea of putting the green on the inside just for a little bit of color. And I'm going to use the same cardstock on the front, so that'll kind of tie it together. I'm just gonna put that in there. Now while that's drying, or at least a little bit, now I've got my pocket all scored and I've got my burnished. So to create your little pocket, you got to cut up, and I'm going to cut at a little bit of an angle on the bottom from, there's the score line right there. I'm going to cut just at a little bit of an angle up to there. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this part off completely. I don't need that. And I am going to cut little slices there and there. Oh, and here, because we're going to create little tabs. And I'm going to do the same thing on this piece just so it doesn't show. Okay. So I'll let you see that. So from the bottom, I cut up just at a slight angle. And then I cut this piece off, and then I just sliced out because these are going to be my tabs, and this is going to go in here, and then this is going to go in that way to create my little pocket. So there's no gaps, okay, like that. Okay, so that's why I want those two little tabs. Now you could actually honestly cut them off and it would just come in like that. and you would have a little bit of a gap there, but since it's cards and envelopes, it's not like anything's going to fall out. But so again, from the bottom, cut at an angle up to that second score line. Cut this bottom piece just completely off. And then we're going to cut little angled tabs there, on the end and on this end, so that when it folds under, this piece doesn't show from the front. So see, like that. If it was straight across, it might show. But in fact, I'm going to cut that one just a little bit deeper. Okay, now let's glue our pocket together. So we're going to tuck these tabs in, put one over the top, and then this is going to fold up like that. Okay, so we need glue on here, like that, and then underneath here. And you just want to kind of hold on to that for a minute. Let that glue dry. Let the glue grab at least. And do the same thing on the other side. So glue there, and glue under there. And that creates your little pocket that your cards are going to sit in. And my pocket is 5.5 inches wide, which is perfect because my envelopes are 5. Then we're going to put glue, or you can use red liner tape or some sort of sticky tape. I like wet glue. All along these tabs. And you're just going to put that right at the bottom and in the center of your card. And I lied, it does kind of show on the sides, but oh well, it'll be fine. So you just want to kind of hold that for a minute. I'm going to flip it over and decorate the front while we're letting that dry. Now for the front, I cut the Altenew Curtain Leaves cover die in that same green and then glued it onto a piece of blue. And then this is just a die that I have that I cut in the same green. And you can see I just rough cut an oval because it was not the same size as any of my oval nesting dies. So I just kind of rough cut an oval that fit behind it and inked it with some blue. And I'm going to put this on. And I'm going to hold off on putting that on until I get my Velcro dot on, just to make sure I don't get it in the wrong spot. Okay, so now when we close this, I'm going to put my Velcro dot on. And I just got this big, huge box of hook and loop self-adhesive dots. And the easiest way to do it is get one on there, place it on, and then you get the other side, stick it on your Velcro dot, and close it, and press. And then you know you've got it in the right spot. And then I'm going to peel this up carefully so I can get a good press down on both of those sides. Okay. There's my closure. So now I know where that is. I can put my decoration on. And we're going to put that kind of right in the center. I'm going to go ahead and open that up so I can press it down again. Okay, and now all we have to do is put our cards in. So I've got my cards in envelopes, and they will slide right in there. Close up. And there we go. So as long, if you tip them up that way, they will slide out, but isn't that nice? I love how that came out. Works great. Just open that, and there's your cards. Now, if you wanted to put, decorate the inside on this side or put a message down here, that works, but I'm going to leave it just like that. Thanks for watching.